inspiring others, coaching others, and leading each individual to their goals in life. Homeownership is one of the main passionate assets I have and wake up to every single day for every client to accomplish. My success story is about my family. Each day that I wake up and go home to is my children and my husband and my life. We live a life by design, and we live a life of love. Our story is much more than a success story. I am Jackie Stevens with the Stevens Home Team.
Woo! What's up, everybody here in El Paso, across the world? Oh, that sounded pretty cool. But anyway, man, here live, guys, with the Stevens Home Show. We got an excellent, awesome, really cool guest, man. I hate to call you a guest, man, because it's more you became a brother to me in a lot of different ways, Mr. David. So it's kind of hard to throw that out right away. But again, guys, we're talking about some gentleman who just took on the whole real estate game by its horns. Continues to learn, continues to just be a student of the game, student of the market. And so I'm very blessed and very happy to have him here to join us. I have my beautiful daughter, Miss Alyssa Stevens, who is also jumping on today here on the show. Guys, let's not waste any time. Let's hear it up for my boy, my man, Mr. David Bentinck in the house. What's up, Dave?
Hey, brother, what's going on, man? Listen, I appreciate you having me on. We got the memo. We're in baby blue shirts today, so
yeah.
Super pumped, man. I said, man, should I wear the hat? I had the hat here on the desk. I was like, should I put it on? Should I not? Actually, I put it on, had a hat there and laid on. So here we are.
Nice. And with us, with me, it was a little bit different because I was like, you know what? Had the suit on today. Came into the office because I thought I had an early appointment. That didn't quite work out. You know how it is. But then I was like, oh shoot, because last time you had the cool hat, and I was like, man, maybe I should come in with a hat. I didn't quite know, but I'm glad we got the baby blue taken care of.
Awesome. Same here, brother. Same here.
Sweet, man. So I know it's been I guess a few years now that we had you on our original set of guests here on our show, and so again, though, man, I know there's been different changes. One we'll talk about today is just the way life takes on, the way things work out in the real estate market. Things that are going on in just in the market in general, right? So we'll get into that a little bit. I don't want it to be about me, man. I definitely want you to bring. We'll talk about some great topics here, guys. For those that don't follow David, follow David Bentinck, man. I know he's on pretty much every social media platform out there. And I throw that out there because he's so involved on that. He loves to share one of the topics that we'll talk about today, which is lead generation. I know within our team here and with the Jackie Stevens home team, we take so much pride in the lead gen, and so to be able to bring some different flavor from someone special like yourself, Dave, I want to get into that a little bit. We'll talk about the life and mindset. I know we have it. I want to share your story from a young entrepreneur yourself. What got you into it? So we'll talk a little bit about that. How you continue to grow your business with all these cool tools that you got, and you better share some nuggets because we're taking down notes.
Man, so we've got a pretty exciting show, man. So man, wherever you want to start, let's do it.
Cool deal. So let's go ahead and start, man. So to kind of give a refresher to people and not to sound like a crazy little interview, man, but tell us a little bit about yourself again here, just so for those that haven't checked in with us prior, they get who David Bentinck is, what got you started, and where are you out of?
Man, I'm from Dallas, Texas, man. I'm a Dallas boy, and born and raised. I can't see myself going anywhere else. I love Texas, I do. But listen, I wasn't always the smartest kid in school, Edgemere. I just try to sit next to him, right? I try to, I wouldn't say copy or cheat, but just more put myself in proximity to people who were smarter than me. And I think that really kind of translate into every single aspect in your life, right? You got to get around the right people. And that's really, if I want people to take something home today, it's getting around that right person, whoever that is, right? It may not even have to be real estate or business. Maybe it's Maybe it's getting a personal trainer or in your health, right? Because I believe health as well. Maybe it's whatever aspect, whatever industry, and like get around, find somebody who has those skills that you have, and put yourself in proximity, and hopefully you can model their success. But yeah, man, I just try to surround myself with people who have the answers to my questions. And I grew up in Irving, actually Irving, Texas, a little suburb out of Dallas, and I was never given anything on a silver platter. I didn't come from money. Parents were blue collar, just worked 9 to 5. Our parents did the best that they could to give us what they could at the time. And I'm just super grateful for having great role models, people who were go-getters, people who just got up every day regardless of how they were feeling. Because actually, professionals, don't listen to their feelings. They actually listen to how disciplined they are, right? They actually stay disciplined. Even if you don't feel like doing shit that day, they get up. So I'm grateful for my parents, being those role models. And Coach Bird actually says, listen, professionals never listen to their feelings. Professionals are disciplined, right? There's times where I don't want to get up, I don't want to hit the gym. There's times I don't want to get up and lead generate, right? But that's a feeling, right? But if you push through, you're going to develop those habits. You're going to callous your mind, and you're going to build successful habits that's going to carry you, especially through this crazy market shifts, right? My mom came from Mexico, worked 2 jobs, tried to go through college just to provide for us. My dad worked like crazy as well. So I think their work ethics really instilled that go-getter in me. And so at an early age, man, I really learned the principles of hard work and the value of honesty and really having, really doing honest work to make a living. And so around 16 or so, I started listening to a bunch of podcasts and started to get into the self-development game, man. Grant Cardone and Gary Vee were big influences at the time for me. Gary Vee kind of put the hustle mindset in me, while Grant introduced real estate. And that always stuck with me as I was moving, getting out of high school. And I think that's really launched my entrepreneurial hustle, my entrepreneurial spirit, is that like these people were doing, and it just kind of inspired me, right? And man, just real estate, it was always in the back of my mind. And I tried to go to college, I just couldn't. And when I finally just made the executive decision to leave college, man, real estate was always in the back of my mind. So I went off and pursued my real estate career. Wasn't easy by no means, man. It wasn't easy. I like to say I attended the school of hard knocks. Just like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, man. So I think it really took about 3 years, brother, to really find my stride. And even then, man, you've got to be very consistent, man. People are attracted to consistency, right? If you're consistent, you're a leader. Leaders, show the characteristics of being consistent, right? Even if it's not sexy by no means, right? So I mean, just 3 years into the business, man, I fell in love with real estate. I became obsessed with innovating that process of buying and selling, because I really wanted to create raving fans, man, guarding my reputation and everything. And so, like, I want somebody to work with me and be like, damn, I had a really good experience. David knew exactly what he was doing. Listen, the real estate transactions are always going to be bumpy. I always accept those expectations, but I always make sure that if somebody puts their trust in me to purchase their biggest asset, that it's going to be a good one. And I really credit that to becoming a certified home selling advisor through the National Association of Expert Advisors. That training really took my skills to the top, to the next level. And man, I'm just a relentless knowledge seeker, brother. Like I love, I'm a stubborn visionary. I have a huge heart, man. I love pouring into people. I respect the fact that somebody were to call and really just, or message me and say, hey man, I need help. Like, I respect the fact that they had the will to like reach out to me and say, hey man, I need help, or like, can I pick your brain? Absolutely, 100%. Because I mean, here's the thing. When I was younger and early on in my career, like I didn't have that person, right? I didn't have that person early on in my real estate career. I was at another brokerage where I would do that. It felt like I was bothering my fellow peers. And so like, being an EXP certified mentor is fantastic, because I get to help, agents who I wish I had, right? I wish I had I wish I had that person when I was new to the business, say, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I bounce some things off of you? And I always try to give them my time, right? Because, it's a passion of mine. So Man, I've got a huge heart for people. I love helping people. I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people win. And I believe in leaders creating leaders, brother. So that's a mercifully brief introduction of me.
Nah, man, that's awesome, man, and thank you for sharing that. And I think that's the, you know, one of the things that we often take pride in is that same development that you mentioned, right? Like just when you help people, or you at least have that open mind to do so, whether you were helped throughout the you know, like you say, you know, throughout the hard knocks and stuff, the way you probably are helping other people now. It has at least taught you that you're wanting to do that for people, so they don't have to go through those same struggles and kind of go from there. And that's how we feel, man. And I think that's how we connected with you. I still go back. I believe we met in Cabo for the first time.
Yep.
And it was just that real genuine conversation. It wasn't, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. It was like, who are you? Where you at? You know,
it's deeper, man. It was a deeper connection,
and that's why I said, hey, man, who can we? You know, we're kicking off our. This will be our, I guess, season 4 that we've done our podcast show, and we wanted to really bring on a strong season, and more importantly, be able to bring on some great quality people that can continue.
The first episode.
Yeah, man. Actually, you know, second episode. We couldn't last week, man. It was your birthday. You know, we didn't want to bring on the birthday boy right on the mix. So anyway, though, man, it's a pleasure seeing you, man, and thanks for the introduction. I brought on Alyssa today for one thing because, you know, and it was funny because my assistant's getting all our stuff ready, right? And he's like, hey, man, who is this guy? And I said, you know what, man, he's a sharp kid. I hate to call my age, but you can see it in my beard now. It's I said, you know, he's like my lost son somewhere out there. You know what I mean? I go, he's a young guy, young buck, and I go, but I learned so much from him every time I talk to him. He brings a new development. I love that you shared with us a lot of the great programs and stuff that you've studied in and out. And it's a little bit of everybody, right? And you kind of formulate it to David and what works best for you. But I wanted to bring her on. She's going to have her set of questions for you as well, just to kind of, because you guys are the future, right? You guys are literally the future of real estate. You guys are the future of where this is going to go. So share some of that stuff that you see coming, and I know she has some questions for you as well, and I think there'll be some good collaboration there as well, and some of the newer agents here, not only in El Paso, but, you know, throughout the globe that can probably hear some good nuggets there as well.
Yeah, Alyssa, how old are you, and how long have you been in the business?
I'm 26. I just turned 26 in March, and then I'm working my 3rd year, so 2.5 years, I want to say. I've been doing very well for myself, I would say. I want to do better, but I close around ranging 11 to 12 a year. My first year I closed really 11. I'm trying to beat it this year to double it, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of the remaining of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, hey, listen, I got into business at 23 myself, and I mean, you're right there on that path, right? I mean, 3 years in, so. But listen, I mean, you can have the level of results and the mindset in a quicker amount of time, right? Because you have some awesome peers, your parents are awesome in the business. So I think it's just a matter of. And here's the thing: is you know, we're going into a market where you know, not a lot of agents have been through. I haven't, right? I think the closest thing I've been through was in 2017, where rates are maybe in the middle 5s. Inventory was, I think, maybe 2 to 3 months supply, but I think if you're able to get through this kind of market share, or this market that we're going in, there's gonna be a lot of market share to have next year. I mean, there's a statistic saying that 63,000 agents have already left the business this year, right? I mean, there's probably more coming in, or just probably the same amount coming in as well, getting new to license. But I think quickly they'll realize that it's not an easy business by no means, you know? So I think we just stay consistent and, you know, just, you know, focus. There's a mindset that I just developed, man. It's the acronym WIN, right? And it's what's important now. And, you know, in any situation where you find yourself in, it's what's important now? What do I need to do right now in this exact moment that's going to get me towards my goals? And a lot of that comes down to lead generation. It comes down to following up with clients. It comes down to, you where's our next move going to be, right? Like what's important now, especially in this market. Like, hey, we've got to work twice as hard right now, maybe even three times as hard. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but I'm busting my ass. Like deals are getting a little bit harder to get,
For sure.
push across the finish line, right? But I think what's important now is just focusing on the transaction, focusing on getting more clients and doubling down on your efforts 100%.
I have a question. So you said that in your first 3 years and in your third year you were learning new things. What can you say from the beginning to when you hit your third year? What changed in your aspect of even becoming a great real estate agent?
Well, I think, fortunately, I've always been pretty good at posting on social media. And I think a lot of the social media, I created like a small audience. And I just noticed that every time I post something, I see a lot of people like, comment and they want to see me win. And so I think, counting those small wins, right? Like, having that mindset shift, like, okay, you didn't get a closing or you didn't get a new client or you didn't set an appointment, but hey, at least I hit my lead gen efforts, right? And just counting those small wins because those small wins add up to bigger wins, right? And I just was doing that. And the compound effects, they said that's just going to double, triple, quadruple over the course of time. And after about 3 years, like I got a little bit of swag going on, right? I had some swag, like, hey, I think I know what I'm doing, right? And so I think you just develop this confidence, right? Like, okay, I kind of at least know what I'm talking about. I've got some clients under my belt. I'm starting to get some referrals, right? So you sort of get, and I've got some money in my account, right? That's more important. That's the most important thing. But I think it's just developing that confidence level. And then here's the thing: I've always been a student, so like I'm always reading. I'm always seeing what's next. I'm always trying to skill up my game. I'm always trying to like find that next script. I get excited for scripts, right? Or I'm always trying to find that next line that's going to get over the objection. And so all those things give me confidence, and I would just add to my arsenal of like, hey, I'm ready for whatever this business is going to bring me. So I think that's really what the shift was, right? And so like, I think after, when I bring it back to social media, it's like, when I post, like people start to, I always tell you, you've got to be posting your photos, you have to, which I mean, obviously you guys do, but that's going to give you that edification, right? Like, hey, David knows what he's doing, right? So like, and people seeing that consistently over the course of 3 years, 10 years, right? Like that's going to compound. So I think it's just, doing those small actions. Those small actions I was doing for the first 3 years I started to reap those rewards. And I think that's where it really started to take off after about 3 years.
No, for sure. And I think you hit a big one there on that answer, man. The whole secret agent, right? Nobody knows those guys. And, one thing that you're definitely, a front leader on is putting yourself out there, doing different things. And then all of a sudden, I mean, for those, again, that aren't following David, make sure you guys follow him. You'll be able to get some really good nuggets to your business from beginning to end. And it's really cool because you kind of share that whole story, and one thing, and trust me, I get it. I know she's watching, Jackie. I know she sent a few comments to you already, David.
I can't see the comments.
Yeah, when she said hi, David, for sure.
Hey, Jackie, what's up?
And then the other one is also we're having to work harder. So she is hearing everything you're saying, but she always is constantly being like, hey, you need to do this like David. I said, all right, man, I'm tired of hearing David. But no, in all seriousness, man, it's contagious and it's easy to follow. And it's not something out of this world, but it's getting out of that comfort zone. And that's having to, again, get in front of, video. I love the fact that you get on calls. And you share it and you go broadcast live, and because everybody always tells you, yeah, you're getting lucky, right? You're part of Nick Good's team and he gives you all the good leads, and that's how you closing deals, David. And be honest to us, right? Or you're best friends with Jay Kinder and he gives you all the good stuff, right? You hear that all the time. Where I'm sure you hear that, right? And same thing with Alyssa. She's heard her fair share. And I always say, you know what, man? It's we call it our boiler room. Our boiler room is what happens here in our office. And I tell my people, if we're not in here making calls early in the morning, they got to be made sometime in the afternoon or late at night. You choose and pick your time, and I think it's big. And I like that you do that. and that's the thing too, right? You try to find that next, what is the cool kick line that's actually working, and then you do it to your follow-up, and then all the way through the transaction to the testimonial. And that's really cool that you do that, because it's the story that you're telling and you're sharing, and it's definitely one of those that we get to see it from afar. So definitely thanks for doing that, man. Like I said, it's cool. So I want to get into a little bit of the lead gen, right? Because that's one area that, for us anyway, you know, with some of the changes that we had to go through and stuff, and just finding that motivation, like you said, not having everyday motivation to just get on the phone and make calls again and get hung up on 100 times before you hear, yeah, I'll meet with you or whatever, right? Walk me through that. So how has that changed from when you first started, you know, to when, you know, we met you to now? What is that taking place like? Are you calling more any specific type, you know, buyers, sellers? Walk us through that, Dave.
Yeah, listen, I mean, and I just want to kind of go bring it back, like as far as like the team thing, man. Like, I mean, as far as the team, I thrive on a team, and a lot of people do. I thrive on the collaboration and the energy with others in the office, right? And you know, I believe like any agent out there who's even experienced, like, you know, if you're struggling, or maybe you just need like a little boost in your business, or any new agent, like, you know, we call them green agents, like, who don't know what they're doing to join a team. If you're in El Paso, Edgar's team is fantastic. If you're in Dallas, we've got a team here as well. But you know, it goes much deeper than just getting leads from the team, right? I mean, in fact, I actually haven't gotten a lead from the team in a while. And so I think the main value proposition is, you know, when you have somebody on another level who you put yourself in proximity to, who's always like, when they hit the next level, they reach down and they grab you and pull you up with them. And also, instead of it being like a team, instead of thinking it as a team, it's more like a mastermind of some sort that I have the pleasure of being a part of on a daily basis. I think that's the real mindset shift, is that, you know, yeah, we're on a team, but you're not. I mean, I'm not necessarily getting a direct handoff with something, right? A lot of my business does still come from expired listings and cold calling. I mean, other than like getting referrals, like, I mean, that's going to be your best, fastest, quickest way to get listings, man. And you've got to be very skilled at it too. It takes a certain skill level. I mean, I've got new agents all the time, like, hey, you know, I want to start calling expires. Like, I'm like, are you sure? I'll help you. But that's not sexy, you know. It's going to take some really hard work. So, I mean, what was the question? I kind of got off on the tangent, but I know we're going to go down to that path. But what was the actual question?
No, and I think you're right in line, because and that is a big one on the team, because and you nailed it. It's the collaboration piece. Mm-hmm. It's you know, we had one of our agents that just came onto the group, onto the team, and his mindset of just changing and just getting into that environment. It wasn't so much because all of a sudden we had, you know, good tasting water that he was able to drink, and then all of a sudden good things are happening for him. But he shared with us, you know, it was just, you know, coming in here, seeing you guys smile, having some cheerleaders ready to help me, you know, get ready and prompt to make those calls early in the morning. Sometimes it's just hearing a conversation, right? So little things like that all come into to peace. Or, hey man, don't worry about that last transaction. It happened, it fell through because it fell through. This is what you're gonna do now, and then all of a sudden, you know, you learn. But I was just saying, in terms of lead gen, because like I said, right now, I mean, obviously, I'm like you, right? I like to try to find different ways that are working, share it. I'm also a big learner from others, right? Like I can't stand my daughter. She'll get on the phone and she sounds so cool, like she's been doing it forever, right? And like with me, sometimes you can hear my frustration, right? Like, what do you mean you don't want to list with an agent? You know, does that even make sense, right? But you know, it's her way of doing it where she makes it feel different, and then I leave better for it, right? I'm like, oh my God, like I did it. So my question to you is, how has that changed? And I know you've gone through different channels from when you first started. What's your target? Do you have like a specific target that you'd like to knock out in the morning? When is the best time for you to do some lead gen? That kind of deal. If you can share some of those nuggets.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So listen, I think to be a high performer, man, you never get away from the basics, and the basic is lead generation. Kobe Bryant, I heard this story about Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant would start his practice at 4 o'clock in the morning, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, for an hour, he was doing an intense basic workout. It was free throws. It was the basic moves middle schoolers get taught. And so like we never get away from those basics, right? And so, listen, it's all about speed to the lead for making those cold calls, right? You've got to be in the office at 8 o'clock in the morning. Listen, I've actually called expired listings, and they're like, and I even asked them like, hey, what's been your earliest call? Some of them have even said, oh, did I lose you? Did I lose you?
Let's see if we got him here.
Did I lose you?
Sorry about that, Dave. Look like we got a little slow time there, but
no worries. You guys good?
Yeah, there you go. We're back.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
Kobe Bryant, just a crazy workout. We're shooting it, multiple shots, everything.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So yeah, Kobe Bryant's in his intense warm up prior to his actual practice, man. And so listen, he never gets away from those basics. So the basics, man, is basically speed is the lead. You gotta be in the office at 8 o'clock in the morning. You've got to be the first one to talk to these people, right? Because 30 minutes in an hour, they're already going to be blowing up on 5H. I'm going to be beating you. You know what I mean? And you don't want me to beat you because I'm gonna convert it, right? But I've even asked expires like, hey man, what's been your earliest call? Some have even said like 7:15 in the morning. I wouldn't call that early, but if you get on the phones early, I typically like to knock out anywhere from 200 to 300 calls. That'll probably give me about maybe 20 to 30 contacts. Which, I mean, actually, what I've noticed here is that the pickup rate is actually going down. And a lot of that is because cell phone carriers are marking calls as spam, right? So we've got to combat that. How do we combat that? I've got an application on my phone called Burner that actually allowed me to change my phone number multiple times. I used to do it every 2 weeks. Now I probably do it every week. Probably now I've got to do it like every 5 days just to be safe, right? So 20 to 30 contacts will either land me maybe about 3 to 5 good nurturers or one appointment, right? And it goes much deeper than just making the calls and talking to people, setting appointments. Right? There's actually a lot more behind the scenes that we're doing to convert them at a higher level. For instance, right? Like let's say we have a good conversation, hey, if you're listening, I'm going to send you over my contact information. I'm going to send you over email, and let's stay in touch, right? So my next step here is like, number one is I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm going to text you, right, from my personal cell, and then I'm going to shoot a video on my phone. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to shoot, hey, Edgar, David from EXP Realty, the Good Home Team. Really great talking to you. Wanted to introduce myself, take my number. I look forward to, hopefully having a chance to invest in the future, right? And I'm going to send it, right? I'm going to send them an email. Then I'm going to send them a package in the mail with our team's information. So they're getting hit from land, sea, and air, right? They're getting hit from their phones, emails, packages in the mail, right? So it's like guerrilla marketing, right? I'm coming at them from different angles, right? And so it takes a lot of fucking work, right? It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work, man. But I promise you, you're gonna set yourself apart by doing these. They say that the tiny hinges swing big doors. If you do these tiny efforts, man, you're going to be able to convert these expires at a higher level, right? So that's exactly what it kind of looks like, man. We're doing that for about 3 to 4 hours a day, 30 minutes, an hour, a follow-up, and then if I got some appointments, I'll run them, but if I don't, man, I'm usually back in the office making more cold calls.
I love it, man. And I like that you said that, it's not, they're not magical calls, and you're not, we don't have that secret formula, right? It's a give and take. It's how you come in. As long as you're coming in consistently, purposeful on it, I think it makes a big change and a big difference on how you approach your calls and how it goes, and you got to have that short memory too, right? It's kind of like a baseball hitter, like how did he hit the third time he went up versus the first two that he struck out? It's short memory, and it's being creative, and I like that you shared some good things there. And I gotta tell you, man, like the video thing hits hard, right? People feel a little awkward about it. I remember when I first started doing it, and I'm sure a lot of my peers and stuff were like, man, why is Edgar's face coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning? But it was funny because last week when I called you to say, hey man, I got you booked in for next week, so I'm not going to take a no. It happened to be your birthday, and the first thing you told me was like, hey man, I wanted my birthday video, you know. And so you remembered that I did that a few years back. And so it hits hard.
I still don't have it.
Still don't have it. Yeah, and so but again, it's funny. I'm saying that jokingly, but it does mean something to people. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you meet them for the first time, and they're like, "Oh wow, this guy's not fake," or there's a lot of different people that have these ISAs, and they're great, and they have a purpose, and they're very important. But it's cool to know, like, hey, David's the one that called me. David, look at this is the guy who sent me the video. Our appointment is set. He's coming in here now. He's breaking me off with all the knowledge that I need to make a decision whether I'm gonna go ahead and not only sell my house, but I'm gonna sell it with confidence and a very easy process for it. Do you have something to touch on that?
I wanted to ask, how did you, in the beginning, did you fear making those videos, or did you just get into it? You were like,
I don't think there's a fear. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think there's actual fear. I think it's more like I had to adjust to making the calls, right? Because I was actually bartending and waiting tables actually while in college, and actually my first year and a half in real estate. So I've already had the gift of gab. I already knew how to talk to people. Now I had to learn the skills to actually convert these calls at a high level, right? So I mean, it took me like several months to be comfortable on the phones. It took me several months to, develop my emotional IQ, right? Because I think that's very important as well. Is really, people will say something to you, but you gotta hear what they're telling you, right? You've got to have that ear, like what are they really telling you, right? So I think that comes with time too. So there was no fear, but here's the thing, if you're asking me this because you want to start cold calling and you're asking this, like if you're asking me, hey, there's a fear behind me making the calls, the thing I would tell you, listen, is that it's just like working out. It's going to be a muscle, and the juice is really behind the rep. The juice is really behind the making the calls and messing up. That's okay, right? Like if you're building a brick wall, like you don't want to just lay these bricks as fast as possible, right? And like, damn, like this wall came out chippy. But if you actually lay these bricks in position, right, the wall's going to take care of itself. So you actually take the time to understand your calls, listen to your calls, script practice. Your calls are going to take care of themselves, right? And again, it goes back to Kobe Bryant. It goes back to those basics, right? Like I actually get back to do my script practice, right? I actually need to start implementing that because I think we're going to be in for a wild ride in the next 8 months, and I think we just need to buckle up and stay consistent with those actions. But I think if you really just hone in on getting really good at practicing and realizing it fails, as long as you're failing forward and you're learning from those calls, then I think you're going to be in good shape in a couple months.
And would you say the same thing about your videos?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, camera shy and having the reluctance to get on camera is very real. Actually, I was just thinking the other day, like, man, a lot of people look up to me, but I'm not really making as much content as I was, and I think it's because I've been busy with the production part. And yeah, I think it's just a matter of if people don't want to look dumb on camera, or what I notice that people say, I don't want to sound dumb. Well, you can sound dumb if you go to research, hey, what's going on in the housing market, and you pull actual articles from economists or people who are studying the market. If you actually go and just regurgitate what they're saying, you're going to be fine. And I think over time you're going to start to develop and put your own spin on things. Yeah.
Yeah, I only ask because that's one of my biggest weaknesses right now that I'm trying to overcome is getting on video and making that content. But my mom, oh my God, she can go on forever. 10 TikToks a day, 10 videos, and I'm barely even trying to put my phone up to my face. So it's something that I'm gradually trying to overcome. But I mean, I guess it takes time, which is I want to just make sure I'm not the only one that in the beginning it's a little tough, but I will.
I think after a while you just screw it. Whatever people think, they think. I don't care. Right? Here's the thing. I'm you know what? I'm gonna post this, and it's gonna speak to whoever it needs to speak to. And if somebody doesn't like it, then that's not my people. I want people who are gonna choose me And listen, at the end of the day, it's just the content I think it's just the content that you're putting out versus like what you actually look like, or maybe the setting in your background. But I mean, I just noticed like I want people to work with me because of who I am, and you know, I would hope that they see like, man, David's making those efforts and those strides, and he's trying to be on top of his game, right? So I want those people to work with me. I don't want people who are going to judge my video, like he messed up here, or he messed up, he mispronounced this word, right? I don't want people to focus on that because they're not my people. I want people to be like, damn, that was a good video. Even if it sucks, even if I think it's shitty, like I want people, damn, that's a good video. Like those are my people. Those are the people I'm looking for. So don't be afraid to mess up, I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, there goes Mama talking about it. Just post it.
Yeah, you actually will post anything. I'm like, I can't do that,
Yeah, no, man, it's the funniest thing. We'll be at the store, and all of a sudden she's on
live.
She's on the gram, putting why green beans are better than corn or something, and we're just like, what are you doing? But it's funny. She captures a lot of great moments, man, and with some of the stuff that's happened this year. People have been able to follow her, and they have, she has her story that she shared with many people, and it's opened up. So I mean, it hits different, hard, and for a lot of different reasons. So
and she's doing it right, because it's as little as I went to AT&T the other day to get an iWatch, and the guy was like, "Oh, I saw you ring the bell yesterday," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "I follow your mom on Instagram," and I was like, "Okay, cool, like thanks."
That's the idea.
So she's hitting an audience where people will even recognize her and us wherever we go. So I mean, awesome. It's working, right? So
she's taking mind share. You take mind share, you're gonna take market share.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that she has, and I just have to get used to. I think all of us do.
It's important to make those videos and content. Just to stand, you have to stay on top of mind. It's just the nature of the business.
Yeah, I know, and like I said, she's done a great job of doing that, and we're just trying to follow as much as we can. So if you see us going crazy, we try to, but it's always a work in progress. Moving forward, I mean, I said one thing that I would love to do with you, David. I don't know how if it's doable, and I'll lean on the younger, more technology guy to share that with us, man. I'd like to do some live calls with you, man, and throw it out there, and I think it'd be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right now?
I don't know, man. You guys want to see it right now? What do you guys think? That'd be pretty cool, right? Now, we'll save it for another one for sure. But
I'm happy to, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've got a Facebook group that actually I need to get better at. I used to go live often. You're in it, right? It was called Real Estate on Facebook, and I would just go live with them. And actually, I've been trying to up my game. I bought like a camera, like an actual like vlogging camera. And so I've been recording calls on there, and my goal is to hopefully create like some sort of like small course to give out to agents, right? Say, hey, this is exactly from start to finish exactly what you need to do. Like, hey, if you want to prospect, cold call for business, like these are the steps, and then here's videos you can do it, right? And let you go on YouTube and click on there. But yeah, dude, I'm happy to, man. What live calls? Let's do it, brother.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do that. We'll go ahead and shift gears a little bit here. So let's talk about growing your business here, Dave. So I mean, I know it's all taking stages and different. I mean, we've gone through it in the same way on our end, but I want people to hear your story on kind of where you started, where you're at now, and what you see going on. I mean, especially because of all the different factors inside the market, right, that we can't unfortunately control. Where do you see that, and what do you feel is going to be your go-to, and what are some of the changes you're going to be doing that to continue to help grow your business?
Man, I think eventually, like, I've been doing this for I don't like to say like I've been doing this for a while, but I've been doing this for so long that I realized like what I enjoy doing and what I'm passionate about, and where I would like to see my business go. And I think videos is really, if you're not doing content, you're behind, right? I think you're more doing. You guys again?
Yeah, let me see. Can you hear me there, Dave?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good deal. Man, I think if you're not online, you're behind, brother. So I think a lot of it's going to, be video, something involving video, right? I don't know if it's going to be doing house tours, which I see a lot of realtors doing, but I don't want to be just another realtor doing house tours. But I think it's creating maybe a small team and just kind of leveraging my time, man. I think it's just creating leverage in the business. But I don't think cold calling or going after listings is ever going to go away. I think it's always going to be a pillar of the business because it works, man. Like the fundamentals, the basics, they work really, really well. So I think, the cold calling is always going to be there. I think creating some sort of small team, maybe to hand off a couple of referrals to kind of get my time back, right? I think that's why we all got into this business, is to get your time, is to make a shitload of money and not to work, maybe to work 4 hours a day, right? That's what I thought about what this business would be about, when it's the complete opposite, right? You get into the business, you don't make shit, and like you're working.
Exactly.
But I think when you reach a level of success, it's like, you want to get your time back, right? Because like, I mean, you don't want to be, buying and selling houses at 50, right? I don't know if anybody they say that there's no realtor retirement party.
No, when there is one, right? It's usually a funeral.
Exactly. we're gonna die door knocking. But I think it's just creating leverage in the business, man. And I don't know what that really looks like just yet. And I'm grateful to have mentors who can kind of get me there, whatever that looks like, right? I don't know what that looks like, man. I wish I had the answer. That's a good question. But just, I think it's creating leverage in the, I know I do want to, use, my skill sets and talents to continue to help buyers and sellers in this business, and use that money to, a lot of my goals has been shifting towards investments, right? So buying more real estate. You guys have what, 20 rentals now or something?
That's the goal, man. That's
30,
the goal.
40, it was 50 rentals, something like that.
I wish. No, but yeah, no, I get you.
That's the goal, man, is to continue to buy rental properties. My goal, actually, I'm putting this out there, man. My goal by I'm 40. I just turned 30, man. So I want to pick your brain, man. I want some 30-year-old advice. My goal by 40 is to have 10 properties. So
okay,
that's my goal, man, is one per year. I think it's very doable. And man, I think, that just means I'm going to have to bust my ass for another 10 years to be able to afford that lifestyle, because I really want to live a certain lifestyle, man. I never want to worry about money. I want to put my kids through private school. I want to live in a big ass house. I want to drive nice cars, man. And I know the amount of effort and work that it's going to take. And so, I mean, that's really the path I'm on. I haven't really carved out exactly what it looks like, man, but I know it's possible. And I know I have some mentors in the business, that can help me get there. So, I mean, I think just creating leverage, creating investments, and, starting to get my time back.
No, that's awesome, man.
And but really also coaching, brother. I love coaching, man. I love helping agents, man. I love sharing what I know.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be something in the business route, creating some sort of influence in the business. I don't know what that looks like, man. Maybe Instagram influencer, YouTube influencer, OnlyFans influencer. I don't know. Right. So, I mean, we'll see.
I love it.
Do you see yourself staying in Dallas?
Do I see myself what?
Staying in Dallas?
I do. Yeah, for now. Dallas is still growing hand over fist, and there's just a lot of opportunity right now for real estate. So I do. I mean, as long as my parents are here, I don't see myself. Family is very, very important to me. Like I try to spend time with my parents, once a week. That's sometimes I don't even do shit on the weekends. I just go hang out with my parents. That's how much I value. So, I mean, I'd say, listen, you've got a great setup being in partnership with your parents. So, I love that. I love that for y'all.
Now, the only reason I ask is because I do want to eventually try to make the move over there to Dallas. That's
really?
The cities that I really like. So, probably in a couple of years. So that's why I asked, how's the market over there? And
what has you wanting to move?
I've always wanted to move out of El Paso, and I was always in between Austin or Dallas. But Austin, I kind of strayed away from it. And I have friends and family that I go visit sometimes. So I just fell in love with Dallas.
more
nice.
Austin. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, whenever you move, let me know. We'll do some business together.
You know, I think what it really is, David, and I'll just share it. She doesn't like to brag a whole lot, but I do. Is there's a lot of San Francisco 49er home games in Dallas.
Oh my God.
Go Niners.
Yeah, I guess she wants to move to her favorite sports team city, huh? That's what it is, huh?
That's a no. That's a big no.
Yeah. So I remember when we first met David, or one of the times I think we were in Dallas. You're like, why are you wearing all this red stuff, man? You're from Texas, right? I'm like, yeah, but we bleed red, man. So it's a good time. And sorry, I just had to sneak that one in there. But I tell her all the time. I say, you know what? Being in this industry that we're in such a beautiful big state of Texas, there's a lot of opportunity, man, and it's great to be involved in it here. Obviously, for us, it was kind of weird the way it worked out. Right away we're like, you're going to be a real estate agent, and we kind of drove it into her a little bit. In her younger years, she's like, I'm not ready for all that. And then it's funny because hearing your conversation, you did the you were a waiter, you had that aspect. She went through that same process, and all of a sudden you saw her kind of glowing and start getting some of that confidence, and then you're seeing it now. So she's literally growing up right in front of our eyes with this crazy world of real estate that we do. And so it's a lot of fun. I said, don't stop, go ahead and put the spot there. El Paso ain't going nowhere. And so if you ever need to come back, you can come back, where everybody's going to always welcome you with arms open. And I know, I don't want to kill your time, man. So I appreciate you being on with us here for sure, man. And I'll have a few more.
Let's keep going, brother. I'm open, brother. Let's keep it going.
Love it.
The conversation's blowing. The vibes are up.
Yes. Market, man. I mean, I know we're not, big predictors of everything, man. And but one thing I am, I always tell Jackie, things are always we just got to go through it. I know in our last short talk conversation that we had with you was like, we just got to survive, December, right? Up to December, and keep doing all the right things. You shared with some of those nuggets already with our listeners. But what do you see going on there? And you can talk to me about Dallas. I mean, I'm always intrigued by it. There's buyers that or sellers here that are moving that direction. But how's Dallas, or what's the market? What do you see happening? What do you see changing, or what do you hope changes?
Man, the market's like a crazy ex-girlfriend, man. It's like bipolar. There's like some weeks super hot, and some weeks where it's like super. It's slowed down, and I think it's just more like giving our clients that confidence that they need. Like, hey, listen, it is a great time to buy, and man, I think it's just being that expert advisor. I think putting yourself in that expert advisor role, it's going to really get people to come to you on their real estate goals, right? For instance, like I've got a buddy who he bought the home last year. Circumstances have changed, and he said, "Man, should I sell it?" And I said, "Look, brother, you'll make a small profit, but I don't think you should sell. And here's why." And I told him everything that he needed to know. I said, "Hey, man, this is what's going to happen with the market. You're never going to be able to buy this type of home again, bro. Like I'd say, try to hold on to it." And so, yeah, I mean, but it's just, if you come across that expert advisor and not just trying to get a sell, because I mean, I could have told him like, yeah, man, let's sell, let's do it right now. I'll bring the paperwork, right? But because I actually care for this business and care for my clients and for my people, like I put his interest above mine, right? Which is called fiduciary. And that's what us agents have is a fiduciary duty to our clients. So I think it's just putting being that expert advisor, man, is, it's you're never going to go out of business as long as you become that expert advisor. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just, and that, I mean, and people would look at you because obviously it's from studying the market. It's from, being consistent. It's from having closings. It's from, people seeing you close deals, right? The Dallas real estate market, I think it's, once interest rates probably go back down, I think it's going to be, I think it's going to go back to crazy multiple offers. We just have so much growth happening in the area. So many companies are still moving. I mean, there's places around DFW where like, you would never expect them to build something in small cities, and all of a sudden you see this huge development happening. And man, it's crazy to see how Dallas has really changed. It's becoming a big city. It's almost unrecognizable, sadly, but man, I love Dallas, and I think the housing market is going to continue to boom for the next couple of years. I think we're probably going to see anywhere from maybe 4 to 8% appreciation over the next couple of years. That's once awesome. Interest rates come down. Home prices are stabilizing. Some areas are kind of dipping up more than others, but I think it's more micro. I think it's more comes down to the micro markets, right? Like for instance, Frisco, Texas, Plano, Texas, those are holding their home values pretty strongly. But here's the thing, man, like we create our own economy, right? We can't let the market dictate our income, right? We've got to do whatever it takes to be consistent with our income and how we're going to go out and survive. And so, that's really where I see the Dallas market, man. Right now, I faced the multiple offer situation with the client. I think the price point was in the 325s. But I'm helping somebody else buy 1 acre land, and that home's been sitting on the market for 60 days. So it just comes down to where in the market. But what I'm seeing right now is like, we've got to give, people, that we got to give people that confidence that, hey, this is the time to buy, which I truly think now is the time to buy. Like if you're renting, rents are going up, right? They're not coming back down. They've came down a little bit. I think across in certain cities, they've come down. Like Austin, San Francisco, New York, where they were outrageously, high. But in Dallas, I don't think they've come down, maybe just a little bit. So if you're renting, if you have the means, if your monthly mortgage is be comparable to how much you're renting for, if you have the down payment, absolutely, it's time to buy. What was that?
No, you're good. We had a little bit of. Yeah, they're doing some work out here, man, and it looks like it's affecting our.
I thought it was me.
No, you're good.
It's me. I think it's just giving that consumers confidence that, hey, man, listen, it is the right time to buy, and here's why. If people hear rates are high, if we look on a 30-year average, they're actually low compared to what they were in 1980 or 2000, right? But I think it's just a matter of being that expert advisor, right? Diagnosing everybody's situation. Like, hey, why do you want to buy a home? Okay, I'm renting. I want to stop paying rent. Okay, perfect. It's the right time to buy. Or if they say, hey, I want to sell, but I want to buy, does it make sense? Let's look at the numbers. If it doesn't, then let's wait, right? But it's just a matter of just advising your clients, advising them what's best for them.
No, 100%. And I think that's the role that we've taken on here. And that's why, again, I always revert to Jackie, she always like, we got to be the educator on it. If that means getting on a quick live or, just a reel, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing, share that because people need to know that, and being that advisor is what's going to be key to continue again, like you said, man, this is all we can do. This is what we do. And so we got to be experts in all across the board with it, man. So, and that's what I see it the same way here in El Paso. It's tough. For instance, we deal with some of the craziest things when it comes to property taxes. And it's one of those deals where hopefully with some changes here, by the end of this year, with some rates going down or at least stabilizing itself, we'll be able to get into a good situation. But at the end of the day, I agree with you 100%. This is the best time for you to do it before those rates come back again and creates another different situation that a lot of people are going to want to run from. So
listen, you're in a great situation. Like, you're 2 years in the business, so you don't know what you don't know, right? Like you don't know a bad market from a good market, right? And so collaboration is way more important right now amongst agents, right? Because if we collaborate, like, hey, what do you have going on here, or like, hey, what's working for you, right? Like that's gonna go a long way. Like, I think I was listening to a podcast, like we have more agents now fighting for less business because supply is low, right? And not a lot of people are buying, right? We got more agents fighting for less amount of business. So I think collaboration is going to go a really, really long way. And I think, listen, you're in a good position because like now you get to listen. I'm in a position right now where where I'm embracing the journey, right, rather than focusing on the destination, right? Like when bullshit happens, I'm like, I just laugh at it and smile, like, man, I'm glad that happened, right? Because like, you know, that's gonna define the person who you're gonna become, right? You're gonna become a totally different person within the next 6 months, as long as you're embracing this journey, you're embracing those losses, right? So I'd say this, just focus on the journey rather than that destination. Like, man, I got to get this deal, or I've got to close these amount by December, or by the end of this year. Like, if you're just focusing on the journey and like what's meant for you is not going to pass you by. So I think right now, like, this is the best time for you to just embrace this struggle, eat those rocks, and just like, you know, collaborate at a higher level amongst your peers. And you know, one of my buddies out in Arizona, he's doing in-person events with other agents, so that's working well for them as well. So just thinking outside the box. And if you know, if you're not struggling, you're not growing, right? And if we get through this struggle, it's going to be a struggle in the next 6 months, I believe, for agents. Not for us, because we're badasses, right? But over the next 6 months, if we embrace if we embrace the struggle, like, you know, we're going to come out very, very strong on the other side. And I'm actually excited. I'm excited for it because you know, it forces you to level up to become a better and more badass agent, right? It forces you to levels.
No, absolutely, man. And I love that, you know, and I don't think we do that enough. And I always tell that to our team here. I said, you know, and I'm going to add this portion of it: embrace the journey, because you just don't. Again, what you don't know is never going to hurt. You know what I mean? You just got to keep looking forward. You know, harness that journey that you're talking about. Stay consistent, and just know that there is an endpoint to it, and just stay focused on the overall goal, man. So thanks for sharing that. I know I'm getting harassed here from messages and stuff, so they want us to knock out some rapid fire questions. We're just gonna throw them from everywhere, man. See how that goes. Keep it fun here for everybody.
Let's do it.
And let's see here. So first one, where you get your merch from?
The hat?
Yeah.
Man, it's this local guy who makes it locally, man. He in Dallas, man, there's these upside down Dallas hats. I don't know if you've seen them. But I mean, it's a brand, and it's upside down, and it says Dallas, but the Dallas is upside down, and they're actually pretty popular. And so like some local guy made this for me, a realtor.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, I wore this actually. Listen, like, I'm actually doing things differently as well, right? So like, I expired cold calls, I get past clients, I get agent referrals, but like, I'm actually like wearing merch and shit to the gym. I wore this in the gym the other day, dude. Like, you know, stuff I learned early on in my career, which I didn't take seriously. Like, tell everybody who you know about, you know, that you're an agent. Like, I'm like, you know, that shit doesn't work. But I wore this in the gym, man, and some guy comes up to me and said, "Hey, dude, are you a realtor?" I said, "Yeah, dude, absolutely. I'm here in Plano." And he's like, "Man, I'm looking to buy next year." Kind of got his criteria, what he's looking for, man, and now he's gonna buy next year, right? So now we're boys, right? So like, I think just doing I wear this almost everywhere I go now.
Yeah.
Gym, bro. So like, I mean, it's just branding, bro. It's just branding, man. Just, you got to be a promoter, man. You've got to promote your business. You gotta hype yourself. You got to be your biggest hype man, like Trump says, bro. You got to be the biggest hype man. And just, you know, put yourself out there, bro. I'm wearing merch about real estate, and you know, this hat really is helping me set myself apart. So yeah.
Nah, cool. Go for it. That's fine.
What time do you wake up every day?
I wake up probably around 6 to 6:30 on a bad day. I like to start my mornings off on a slower pace before, you know, I think after about 8 o'clock, you know, there's a lot of bullshit that gets thrown your way, and you can't control it, right? So I like to start off my day off like very slow, hang out with my dog, drink a cup of coffee, maybe check a couple emails, you know, maybe say a quick prayer, just start my day off with some good intentions, right? You know, you got to begin with the end in mind. So really just set your intentions for the day. Like, hey, I'm going to do this for the day. I'm going to do this. Yeah. So just, you know, I think when you start your day off with a win, and in that kind of, you set the pace for the rest of the day. If you start like that. So I'm working on the 5:30 club, like Edgar. He's in the gym by 5:30. So you do, dude. I can't get up. I got to. Listen, I'm all about mindset and growing, and I know getting up really, really early is part of that, man, but I just can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I got to work on now, especially as I see it, because I go in there, man, and I kill myself in there right in the morning, is the sleeping part, man. I got to get a better better time to go to sleep and get the full hours to recuperate, man. But it's a work in progress. Depends on who you talk to. So you got three records here: 13-4, 8-8, or 9-7.
Cowboys going 13-4.
Who are the 4 losses to?
Probably not the 49ers.
Yeah, well played. I just, I don't know how that happens, but we'll see.
We beat you guys though, so
that was like 3 years ago. Did they even play the Cowboys this year?
Yeah, week 5, sir.
In San Fran.
Okay. I'm sorry that they're going to lose on home turf. So
yeah, no, God forbid no. But give me some other question here, guys. Rapid fire. Let's see here. Where are we finishing as your numbers this year? People want to know.
Man, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I haven't been focusing on my numbers. Last year, I did about 12 million in volume for about 33 deals. So I want to either hit that or exceed it, right? If I'm just hitting that, I'm living a pretty good lifestyle. But a lot of my stuff isn't really focused on production, man. Even though production is important, man, I'm dipping into other things such as like, with our company Agent Attraction or creating content. Sunday I'm doing a back to school drive. So really just giving back into the community and stuff like that. So, I mean, production is important, of course, like more perks get opened up to you, man. But to be quite frank, man, I'm not really focusing on my numbers right now. I mean, here's the thing, bro. I don't. And I realize like stuff comes to me, right? I attract business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I know tracking numbers is actually very important. I'm sure if I ask the team, like, hey man, where am I at for this year? Like they'll have it, but I don't focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love that you share that because it depends on who you talk to. I mean, obviously, you always got to have your numbers. You track, how are you doing year over year? If you're doing that type of evaluation, right? But if you're doing all the right things, I think that's always the plus, and it looks like that's exactly what you're doing in terms of you have different goals, man, different mindsets in terms of your bank account straight, everything else is going to be taken care of. It allows you to give back to the community, allows you to continue to motivate and help other people wanting to, attract your circle, be in your tribe and all that good stuff. So, I get it, man. And that's why I asked the question, how important that is, because I think people get lost in that translation. They lose focus of that, and their one thing is doing this, doing that. Now, what is it that you're doing now with it, right? So, thanks for sharing that aspect of it. I love it, and and actually, just wanted to share with you also, man. So the 26th, 27th, we'll be in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. We got a couple of games that we got to attend for. My son will be there for a soccer tournament, as well as my daughter. I just found that out today. So it's going to be very cool to go and see her play there in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And see, I'll definitely be reaching out to you, man, see if there's any way we can connect. I know it'll be kind of jam-packed tight, but it'd be cool to just touch base with you, man.
Yeah, the 26th, Saturday?
Yeah, 26, 27. That's when we'll be there.
I'm guessing like you're going to have to like go to different games back to back.
At some point, but then there's always an end to that, and then we gotta have a little bit of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've been following these guys my whole life.
I'm gonna stick in my calendar, boss, and we'll make it happen.
All right, yeah, no, I know Miss Jackie will be happy to see you for a little bit. You got any last thoughts you want to share, Mr. David?
Mr. David?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. David.
No, it sounded like you called me.
No, of course not. Come on now.
No, I don't. I really enjoyed listening to you and getting some feedback, especially because I'm still kind of a new agent. So I can't wait to grow and be in the same position, hopefully within your age range. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
For sure. I think you're on the right path. And I mean, if you're ever in Dallas, let me know. And, if anything I can do to help with your business, moving forward, I'm happy to help and see where I can help you.
No, that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad you. I mean, I'm hoping that you got as much as I always get from just talking with David, and it's good spirit. I know we love the whole meditation portion of it in the morning for us. For another big piece that I love talking and challenge myself to being able to talk with others, and with some of the nuggets that you shared today. Not only take them, write them down, but the biggest piece for us is always finding a way to implement them, and then we can track it and see how it goes from there, man. So thanks for sharing that. Always a pleasure, man, talking to you and getting that info and yeah, man. Thank you for always being a business partner, but a bigger friend, man, a peer, someone that we respect, and thanks for jumping on today, man. Any last nuggets you want to share with anybody else? Thoughts?
Yeah, brother, man, listen, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you, boss. You have no idea. Really means a lot to have a great connection like yourself. You and Jackie and the fam, you guys are awesome. You guys inspire me. Yeah, you guys are 4 seasons into y'all's podcast. That's four seasons ahead of me. For the longest time, I've always wanted to start one. So I think I'm going to ramp that up probably within the next 30 days. I don't know what it looks like. I believe in the ready, fire, aim mentality, man. It's basically just taking action, and then you can readjust your aim from there. But man, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I love seeing y'all grow. I love seeing y'all win. The last piece of nugget I probably can give is just in any aspect, just having that growth mindset. And that's kind of been the common denominator here in our conversation, man, is I think having that growth mindset is key to really all areas of your life, man. I think growth just takes place when you're challenged and when you're uncomfortable. And the last few years have been filled with so many uncomfortable moments, man. It really has been. And some very dark moments, man. I'm just being transparent and vulnerable. Yeah. There's times where I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to be in this business. And there's times where I go down that rabbit hole and I'm like, man, if I don't do this, then what? Then I could go back to college, this and that. And then, you find yourself in a dark place. But I think with God by your side and God by my side, I've learned to really lean into the struggle and face those fears and get, I guess, as cliche as it sounds, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But that's really when the growth happens, right? Personally and in my business, really that's over the past couple of years, that's really what it's all been about. It's being uncomfortable, but that's really when the growth is happening. Mm-hmm. And so I think just adversity is really, I think people should seek adversity to help them grow.
100%, man. You guys heard it here first. Thanks, David. I think it's a big piece there that people should definitely take with them, man. Embrace it, and I love the fact that you said also enjoy the journey, man. It's not an easy one. It's the ups and downs that create that adversity, and at the end of the day, man, what's the best thing? The best feeling at the end is knowing that you were able to get through it, and there's tomorrow, man. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you again. I look forward to having you, man. And hopefully when you get that show going, man, we get to be some guests on there.
Absolutely. 100%. I'd love to have you guys on.
All right, my brother. Well, I appreciate you, man. We're going to go ahead and check out, guys. Again, tune in next week, every Wednesday, 11 a.m. here, El Paso time, Mountain Standard Time, with the Jackie Stevens Home Show. For me, Miss beautiful Alyssa. David, thank you again. We're signing off.